Management focuses on these strategic priorities as we move away from how the Momentum Moval was created. Management does focus on these with every decision that we do make. More importantly, in building the budget, it is the second main goal that we strive for. So one, for the budget development, we look at maintaining a balanced general fund budget. The second is how many of the Momentum Moval priorities are met through the various resource allocations that we have in any given budget or budget year. As well as community engagement has always been key through Join the Conversation platform. So back in 2017, we created Join the Conversation platform, and we continue to use this platform for surveys of our residents to ensure that the priorities that, one, were created back in 2015-16, but more importantly, any priorities that we're seeing that potentially deviate or that are new, are given resource allocation through the budget. So in this particular last round of surveys, prior to the new biennial budget going into effect in July 1st of 23, these are the bulleted items that were of priority to our residents: preventing robberies and burglaries, maintaining 911 emergency response time, maintaining the number of fire engines in service, and gang and youth violence prevention programs. Those are the prevention programs that I've been talking about in the afternoon hours. Maintain safe and clean parks and public areas, repairing pothole and roads. Obviously, that's probably the main priority that we've seen over the last several years, and addressing homelessness as well. With that, I'm going to conclude my presentation and just state that based on council direction tonight, if for some reason it is decided that council directs staff to move forward with creating a new strategic plan, there was a financial impact. So we're looking at anywhere between $75,000 to $100,000 plus a year's worth of work in bringing a strategic plan back to council. It would obviously have all of the public engagement along with roughly 400 hours of departmental time of each of the departments in being engaged in part of that project. If for some reason a full new program or plan is not requested or directed of staff, then we'd be looking at a revision that could potentially be anywhere between 50 to 60,000 and about 6 months worth of work, or staff's recommendation in which all of the 6 strategic priorities based on most recent surveys are still well poignant within our residents' priorities. We would still like to continue living out the Momentum Moval priorities in our current budget and capital improvement plan, as well as all the various programs and services that the city manager and the city management manager's office bring to this particular council for recommendations of staff. With that, I conclude my presentation, and I'm available for any questions you may have.
Thank you very much, Brian. Appreciate that report. And that will bring us to public comments on this item. Madam Clerk, any requests to speak here?
Yes, Roy Blackard.
First thing that strikes me is $75,000 to $100,000. Really? I'll tell you this, go back 2014, I put together a redistricting plan for this area in 3 days that is still in effect today. Versus 50 grand or whatever, 100,000 we paid consultants to draw district maps and all this other noise. And the Ditch Bank Okie from Edgemont figured it out like that. We don't have to do this. Momentum Moval, let's go back. You want to bring up Deborah Craig or Pete? How Mayor X back then, when we were at Edgemont, shut down the process. join the conversation. I will give you an example, and this hasn't happened since Tom Owings, and well, he forced the deal of it. But your chief during the break there said, "Hey, I want to talk to you about this public safety thing." We could put this together like that. Momentum Moval, if you turn loose the talent and abilities in this city to form a Momentum Moval plan, not a bunch of ridiculous consultants that don't give a rip about Moreno Valley. They're just looking to grab $1 out of this place. The stuff isn't complicated. It's not rocket science. It's not real hard to figure out where to park a truck or how to build an economic powerhouse. The problem is it's real easy to destroy that. And again, I bring this stuff up to hopefully further the conversation and focus and get things going in the right direction. Said it the acronym many times, C. Simple, effective, and efficient. That's how you should be looking at everything. How do we get this done? How do we get it done quickly? Not talking about 6 months and 100,000 this and $2 million of that. Just like you put in public safety and everything else. We could have better public safety at less cost, and maybe we wouldn't be watching so many funeral processions going on. It's that serious at times. That's why I bring this stuff up. Hopefully we'll get it together.
Luis Palomares is the next speaker.
Wow, it's not rocket science. The staff just told you that it's working. Why do we want to break it? Why do we want to take a whole year and spend over $100,000, maybe even more, when something that's working? I wonder who's the brainchild. Was this your bright idea, Cabrera, wasting staff's time again? Golly, they worked hard on this last, here I go, the last plan. Why do we got to go there again? They got a lot of other things to do. We got a lot of other needs like housing, homeless people, parks in other districts besides District 3. We got a lot of other things to do. We got a lot of other needs to meet here. You know, come on. Over 100,000, are you serious? The animal shelter could use some more money. The animal shelter. What is it? Are you trying to turn this whole city upside down and flip it all? I don't know how many meetings we've had. We're here for 4 or 5 hours. And a study session, that's another thing. Why don't you do it on a Wednesday or a Thursday, opposite planning commission? Because we're running from school boards over here, because we're doing things over there too. We're helping fix bathrooms, air conditionings, get rid of bungalows. We're doing a lot of stuff over there. But we got to run over here because you want to have a study session. Not on Valentine's Day, not on that Tuesday though. Come on. When is it going to end? How many more meetings are going to have night all meetings, study sessions, et cetera, et cetera? It's a lot of money. Staff works hard. They've done a good job with what they're doing as far as the current plan. Why do we have to change it? I don't know what your agenda is. You have all these people coming, you know, great people, you know, on the commissions that want to come fill them. It's all great, but you didn't give anybody else a chance in the shot here. And you're always saying about, oh, well, when it was this way and that way, we're not talking about when, we're talking about today. We're not talking about yesterday when you didn't get a turn and you didn't get a shot. We're talking about today. Isn't it a new day? Isn't that what you said? You want to change it? You want to turn it around? You want to make it happen for the community? I don't know. You know, the Gonzalez, I remember when he was a good commission, you know, I don't get, but what bothers me and what's interesting to me, Marcus, he's in Marcus's camp. So that means he's in your camp. So I don't feel comfortable. But that's all right. I'm not saying anything against him. He's all good in that way. But you're going to manipulate him because you've already done. Got your people.
Let's keep it to
Okay, let me keep it here. So as far as the strategic plan, don't fix it. It's not broken. It's not broken. Look at everybody works here. They got to go to work the next day. They're all working right now, but you don't got a job. You're on the campaign trail all day long. Ribbon cuttings and everything else. Get on this. Do something. People for parking, get something going parking over here, not on the east end.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That concludes public comment.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. That brings us now to council deliberation if desired. If you have any comments, please hit your speaker button. I do see a request here from Mayor Pro Tem Delgado. Is that for this item?
Yeah.
Okay.
I will just say that the plan that was presented tonight, and obviously you're going to send it to us tomorrow. I did get a chance to look at that. I think it is effective. We need to concentrate on more public safety, and not. I don't think we should spend $75,000 to $100,000 on something that we already have. So I think that if we are going to spend more money leaving our city, I think it should be put to something that we certainly need and don't have, more deputies or more firefighters or a dog park. But so I like it the way it is.
Next, we have Councilmember Baca Santa Cruz.
I concur with Mayor Pro Tem. I believe that we have a plan. We still have 30–40% of it left. Why would we want to spend money now on this when we have high priority needs, public safety, infrastructure, a dog park, Wi-Fi? There's a lot that our residents need more than us spending money on a consultant to revamp something that's still working. So I think that we should follow recommendation 2 to direct the staff to continue to work with the priorities as set and move forward.
Any comments, Councilmember Bernard? Okay. Just briefly, so I asked for this item to be put on the agenda as a refresher because I honestly can't remember the last time that we went through and just reviewed what the current strategic plan is. So definitely a good refresher for not just the council, but also the public to remind everybody what is within that, because it's essentially the guiding document for how we move forward and what happens here in the city. So I did not know that it was that expensive, and I also did not ask for any changes to be made. I just asked for it to be on the agenda so we can go over it. So it is good to know, though, the price tag on that as well. So that's helpful. So yeah, I think, going over it again, it really captures, where the city is headed. So I think, city staff is doing an excellent job of getting us in the right direction. And yeah, I think it looks pretty good. So I'll leave it there and entertain any motion and a second from the council.
I'll motion to approve recommendation number 2.
I second that motion.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. Please vote. And that passes 4-0. And that brings us now to H4, which is the approved construction of a basketball court at Patriot Park. And we have a report from Parks and Community Services.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, and City Council members. Bear with me as my report not only includes information, but also includes my unsolicited professional opinion. Oops, excuse me. At the February 7, 2023 City Council meeting, City Council directed staff to investigate constructing a basketball court at Patriot Park. Patriot Park is a small half-acre park that currently consists of a playground, grass lawn, picnic tables, and a small walking path. It could accommodate a 42-foot by 50-foot court, which is a half court. However, building that court would cover much of the grass lawn. The construction cost is estimated to be between $100,000 and $120,000. Funding would come from currently unallocated park DIP fees. Normally, a project will be reviewed by the PCS subcommittee prior to being placed on the agenda for City Council. However, in this case, since the item was council directed, it was brought to the PCS subcommittee today, the same day as City Council. The project was reviewed by the PCS subcommittee this afternoon and was not recommended for approval. As you are aware, we are currently in the midst of developing a new Parks, Community Services, and Trails Master Plan. This process will identify service gaps and needs in terms of parks, facilities, and amenities for our entire city. This will be accomplished through an extensive public outreach process as well as using national and regional standards and benchmarks. The finished document will include recommendations for each of our existing parks, as well as priorities for future projects and acquisition for additional park space. This master plan will be the guiding document for the development of future CIP budgets. While we work on the new Parks, Community Services, and Trails Master Plan, we typically work from the existing CIP unless a project is time sensitive. Since the basketball court project is not in the current CIP and is not time sensitive and was not supported by the PCS subcommittee, it is my recommendation that this project should be put on hold until we complete the PCST master planning process and receive the recommendations for Patriot Park. The PCST master plan is scheduled to be completed by the end of the calendar year. That includes my report, and I'm available for any questions you may have.
Thank you, Jeremy. That'll bring us now to any council questions of staff, if desired. And just a quick question for you, Jeremy. At the end, you kind of answered it there as far as the plan to look at all of our parks in the city and I guess make recommendations. So you're saying that you expect that to be completed at the end of this, at the end of the year, so November, December?
Yes, it's scheduled. We were scheduled to come back to council by December of this year for approval.
Okay. I don't have any other questions. Any questions from the council? Okay. We will move now to public comment on this item, Madam Clerk. Any public speakers?
Yes, we've got 3. Daryl Terrell, Christopher Baca, and James Baker.
Mr. Terrell, are you still here? If not, we'll come back if you're still here. We will go ahead and move on to Mr. Baca. We'll come back to him if
he's
he,
busy
yeah.
chatting. Yeah, I was gonna say, don't mention any vacant lots. He may give Peppe's Towing some ideals for illegal towings. Anyhow, as far as Mr. Baker's proposal, and you were planning on spending $100,000 on some, it's about the community and it's about the people, and I really think you should get this basketball court there before the summertime. It's imperative to, help our community, help the youth, and improve that park. Thank you.
James Baker and Tom Gerald Sr.
Mr. James Baker, you're up next here.
I'm done.
We'll call Mr. Terrell afterward. Yeah.
He's done.
Oh, he's taking his request back. Okay.
Yeah, he's
Go
done.
right ahead.
Yeah, he's done for the night. And so am I, looks like. Anyway, hi, City Council, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, City Council, and staff. My name is James Baker. Second, I'm the former commissioner, park commissioner for City of Moreno Valley. And I am here to just say a few things about the park that I made a proposal about a month ago. And they took it under consideration, and we will cheerfully go by their recommendations, because you guys know more about this than I do. But as far as the park is concerned, I've been living there for 13 years, and in fact, I was there when the park was actually constructed and built. I've got the actual outfit at the ribbon cutting ceremony. This was in 2010, June 14, 2010. I was on the commission at that time, and we were, did the ribbon cutting. It turned out very nice, and I've watched the trees grow for the last 13 years, so They're a little bit taller now. But as far as the basketball court is concerned, I think it'd be a good idea to go ahead and try to have it if you can look at it again. Because they say, well, some people say there's crime out there. There's a lot of bad things. And I checked with the neighborhood. I checked with the park ranger. I checked with the people that work there. I checked with the guy across the street. Never been a big problem there at all. Another park down the street maybe, but not that park. So hopefully we can get this done. And I know it takes, with City Hall, it takes a little longer. I understand that. But maybe we can get it done eventually in the future. Because the kids, I talked to the kids out there, the people, and they really want a basketball court. And my thing is to keep them off the streets and say, what, you're going to break in our houses? Or if they're playing basketball, they won't be breaking in your house. You know, they got something to do. And the kids there are saying that they have to go about half a mile to another park and play basketball. So we're going to see if we can try to get something there for them. And thanks for the information about the half court, full court, half court. It's just a small part. Actually, it's the smallest park in the city there. And we realize that. So again, my thing is if you improve the park, you know, you improve the neighborhood and you improve the morale of the area there, you know. It's like you have a house and your house is all nice and shiny and clean and you cut the grass and you trim the edges. Your neighbor will do the same thing. And then the neighbor will see his grass is bad. He'll do the same thing in his house. And eventually the whole neighborhood will turn good. The private ownership there is involved. And it said the same thing when I worked on the mountain there. They said, Moreno Valley, the city's full of corruption. Let the weeds grow over the M. Well, the same thing here. I said, let's go out there and clean it up and fix it. That's what we did, and people love it now. In fact, it's been lit every year since 2014. And it started with just one idea. Let's get it cleaned up and see how people respond to it. And so we're saying the same thing here, but give people a little pride of
Thank you.
Oh.
Thank you. That was the full time right there? Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know. you try to never come up here.
Thank you.
Okay.
I know you get so into it, you get excited.
Yeah, I know.
The time just flies
I live
right
out there, you know. So, thank you, sir. Okay.
Next week, Madam Clerk.
Next speakers are Tom Gerald Sr., Luis Palomares, and Roy Bleckard.
Tom Gerald, again, speaking on behalf of myself, Mayor Pro Tem, council members, and members of staff and the public. You know, the Bible gives us a good, I'm not going to get religious, but gives us good, simple ways of evaluating things. You shall know them by their works. And Mr. Baker is a consummate workhorse. I mean, the guy is always about the community and he brings forth good fruit. And, you know, I've seen him in action, you know, my own eyes. I've heard good things. I've, you know, seen the results of it. So I inclined to support what he does. But something I was thinking, and some of you have been there a while, once upon a time, there used to be all basketball courts right in front of our golf center there, where the buildings are. And one day, it was a long time ago, long before you guys were around on the council and stuff, somebody got the harebrained to yank out all the nets and take down all the standards and everything. It displaced a lot of kids, and those courts are always busy. And like Mr. Baker said, you know, keep the kids productively active and, you know, sports and good community activities, you know, good sportsmanship. It's a good environment. So I support it, and I think it's a good thing and a good investment for our youth and for the betterment of the community.
Luis Palomares, followed by Roy Bleckard.
Wow, there's some tall people here, huh? Anyway, Luis Palomares, community activist. The staff did their homework. A lot of money for a small park. I mean, we can put it elsewhere, getting other parks in other areas that we need. There's not enough parks in certain other areas. And let me ask the question. Hey, my hat's off to James Baker. Nothing got to do with James. He's great. He's a great guy and does a lot of work in our community and all of that. Why is it going to cost over $110,000 to build a basketball court? Who do we get, the highest bidder in town? Where do we get these numbers from? That's a lot of money. Like, gee, if I could have put a pole up there myself, wood with an old, you know, hoop in there. Something has to happen, but that's a lot of money. Over $100,000 for There's a lot of other things we need. And like I said, my hat's off to you, James Baker, but I don't know. That's a lot of money for one little park, and when we got needs in a lot of other areas in our community. So yeah, keep on going, though. Keep on going. And another question, on another note, I'm going somewhere else with this, but how do I get something on the agenda? James Baker came about a month ago, proposed this. It was on the agenda. How do I do that? I proposed some stuff. Can I? What's going on here? How do I get something on there? I've been here 30 years. How do I do that? I want to know. Tell me. Mayor Cabrera, I'm asking. I got some things I want to get on the agenda. We got to educate the people about the violation of the Brown Act. We got to educate the people about how you put up your political signs 3 weeks prior. I want
stay
that
on
on the
topic,
agenda. Thank you.
Palomares.
I'm staying on the subject. So anyway, James Baker, thank you again for all you do in our community, James. And keep it going. And as far as this, I don't think so. Not right now. Maybe another time, but right now, not right now. Let's make that park a little bit bigger so we can have more room. And like one of the other speakers said, all the basketball courts they took down over here at the small golf course. Hey, that's an idea also. Let's go there where everybody is, we can have more than one. Maybe we can have a half a dozen. Thank you.
Roy Bleckert is the final speaker.
I'm against this. Not really, but I just wanted to see if you're paying attention. And there's some good questions, and the basic thing I have, and without getting too far into the weeds of these things, but public safety and all that, and we have the whole deal with parents concerned about their kids being out and this and that. So I hope maybe the chief will address it, or maybe the council will ask him. We actually have a 2-star up there from the sheriff's department who has some expertise in this. Give us some assurances of what's going to be happening, so we're not back here 2 years later or talking about or having to take it out or concerns about this, that, and everything else going on and that. I think that would maybe take away some of the angst or something that when these projects come up and like that, and then further explain, like Measure A funds and that this is not coming out of the general fund budget probably. It's probably coming out of Pacific, monies that are designated for that. So again, when you're making up these reports and you're doing this and you're presenting it to council from staff, that should be clearly laid out where this stuff is coming from. And then you probably wouldn't have to listen to me so much, which I think would make your days much better. But we can play it this way either way. But again, that's all I have the concern about is that we lay this out and alleviate maybe some of the potential problems, or yes, we've looked at that and this is what we're putting in place so we don't wind up with that. I hope those questions will be asked. We will see.
That concludes public comment.